Yes, so hi all. I would like to demonstrate to you in this video how we could solve a few of these small exercises from lesson 5. I think it is this one. I'll not do all of them, but I'll focus on, I think, the last 3 of them. This one is already, it should be a video of this one. So I'll focus on exercises 4 and exercise 5. So let's start with this one, extrusion of this shape. Yeah, let's move to inventor, start a part. Actually, this one is, that was lesson 6. This one, as you see, this is quite symmetrical about the center plane. So I think my first feature would be sketching 60 by 80. And then with a thickness of 40, and then I do the cut of 25. So 60 by 80. So rectangle like that. We could draw something like that. 60 by 80. I think this was 80. I'll check it in a minute. And this was 60. Let's have a look. 80, 60 high. 80, 60 high. What you also can see, 2 dimensions needed. It's of course because I haven't done anything to actually constrain it to the relative to the center point. So let's do that. I will use the coincident constraint, and I will make the center of this line here actually in the center of our origin. Yeah, that actually did the job for us. It is now fully constrained. Finish it, and I forgot again. It is 40. So extrusion of 40 could be in that direction. It's blue here, so I can override directly. So it's now 40. We could make it show to you. We could change directions here if it's needed. Also, symmetrical is worth considering sometimes if it should be symmetric. But I think not here. It's okay. So that's the first feature. Next is about making this cut 40 and this 20 from the bottom, not parallelical. Rather make it 40 from the top actually. But so you could say 40 by 40. So I'll start a new sketch on the front surface like that. Stick with a rectangle. It's the easiest. And we can actually straight away write 40 here. Also the other one. 40. Okay, it 1 dimension is needed again. It's because it's not fixed relative to the center axis. So we could do a little trick here. Use the vertical constraint. Make could be escape it. Try again. So center point of this line. Then it's a vertical relativity. So made it fully constrained like that. Perfect. Do the cutting with an extrude option, but instead of adding something to it as it does default, I will cut the Boolean option. We have, it's perfectly fine, a distance of not 40, but as I remember, it was, can't remember, 25. So here is blue, so I can overwrite this to be 25. Okay it, and it's perfectly fine. I can see how the outcome of it actually is. I have the plane here. It's lying nicely in the center because that's the way I put my first sketch. XZ is not that important here, and XY is on the back side. So this was the first exercise. Let's try the next one. It's also 40 by 80. It's actually, again, 60 by 80 and then a depth of 40. So I could actually cheat a little bit here. Delete the last one I did. What is actually coming up with when I'm deleting the features here is, do you also want to delete the underlying sketch, the consume sketches and features? That's the case here. Sometimes it isn't. But here I want to get rid of all of it. So now I got my block again. It had the same dimension, so that was an easy way of doing it. But now I want to cut out this triangle. So let's do that. So instead of, to make it logical, I'll actually something like that we have here. So I will sketch on this surface. Start a sketch. Like that. Can actually do it with a line, I guess, from here to there. And actually note what it did here. It projected these lines, which are now yellow, are projected from the previous feature. To be a little lazy, it should be a closed geometry we have here. So we could actually, I think we can close it with that to project this line as well. You could also draw it, of course, straight away. What was the dimension was, is what's 15 from the bottom. Let's try to add that. Oh, sorry. So dimension from here to there is 15. Should be, yeah, fully constrained. So let's see what's happening now. If it's good enough, our sketch. Try with an extrusion. You see it actually use those yellow lines. So that was good enough. I'll extrude, go the other way. I forgot again, the depth was halfway through 40. So here, this one, 40. And we see we got it perfectly fine here. Let's have a look at the last one in lesson 5. Also this one, similar. Again, we got the same basic feature, the 80 by 60 by 40, but now with the cut line here. So I think again I'll use my geometry here. I'll get rid of my last feature here. Yes, go away. So I want to make this cut in this here. What is a good idea is actually, when we look at this one, it is this triangle in the center. And I think I've done this with the center plane here. We have the center plane lying here. You could check that. You see, I've got my center plane, the YZ plane here. If I want to make it visible, I can do that. If I right click on it, make it visible, then I got it. What I now want is actually sketch on this plane, the YZ, because then I can extrude and make a cut to both sides from this plane. So let's see what happens. Start a 2D sketch to this plane, moving into sketch mode. But then you can see when I'm drawing here, it can be a little trouble to see what's actually going on here. See, I have drawn it So we, instead of just drawing something that we can't see, then we can use the option. It's actually this view option we have up here, half section. And I think it works well, as I remember, it's F7. If I press F7 here, and it actually what it did here was moving into a half section, meaning that I can do it with a half section. If I enter the section again, see what it actually did here. If I move into half section here, I can choose the plane that I want to use for sectioning. And I want to use this YZ plane. See what it did? It was halving it like that. So now I can see my sketch. Of course, it still has the full geometry on it. It's just a view option we have here. Yes, and yeah, what do I want here? I want to move back to my sketcher. Projected geometry again, this edge. And what else? What was the dimensions? 15 from both sides. Dimension from here to there of that line was 15. And I think it was 15 from there to there as well. Okay, should be okay now, but yeah, you can see 15 and 15. But for some reason, got one dimension is needed. Surprises me a little bit, but let's check it out. We can take this automatic dimensions and constraint, see what is going on. Ah, yeah, I can actually get an idea of it. I can see I have drawn this line too long. So I remove that again. I couldn't see that straight away. I actually draw that too long. So I'll shorten it, trim it here. That did the job for me. I should have seen that. But sometimes if you're in trouble like that, you can use that one, or you can try to drag in it and see what you can do about it. So now fully constrained. Finish the sketch. Extrusion. Again a cut. And the cut was, go back here, was 15 to both sides. I think I used the cut then 80 minus 15 minus 15. So obviously 50 from there to there. That's more logical. So distance 50 was the cut to symmetry, both sides. And I haven't chosen the profile yet. That's the profile that is lying behind there. Something like that. You see what I did here was to make it symmetric to both sides. We see what it does when I do it to this side and the other side. But obviously wanted to both sides here. If it wasn't exactly in the center, like symmetrical, then we could also use the option asymmetry. Yeah, then you can make an asymmetric dimension. It's not the case, so I can finish it. Okay, and then done. I can make this plane invisible again, just for helping me. So this was the last one in lesson 5. So that will conclude this video.